4 A's of stress management. Avoid people who stress you out. See, we can talk about like Viktor Frankl and all that sort of nice things, but whatever this, sometimes we find that there are some people who constantly stress you out. I mean, there is no need to fight with them, but to the extent possible, if you believe that they're not really going to do any good to you, you can just keep them out. Alter, express your feelings, be willing to compromise sometimes. Sometimes you feel that your spouse, something that she has or he has done, something not very interesting, you can just frankly talk to them. You don't talk to them, you keep it in your mind for just 2 or 3 days. Your partner might be wondering, okay, what this has happened to this guy. This guy is not talking to me today. um, Better to express it. You express it, and then we are free. They are also free. Be willing to compromise sometimes. Practice gratitude. This is what the professor said, right? Practice gratitude. In the morning itself, or whenever we are traveling, think about the things that we can be grateful for. As Professor Toby said, even we can be thankful about the problems that are happening to us. Many times, these are the real issues that in life that helps to learn something new. Accept things that you cannot change. You should have that serenity to accept things. Everything in life we cannot change. That's the reality. We have to accept it. We cannot change all the things in life. Na? So some things we have to alter on our own. We have to take initiative, adapt something for something, and accept some things. Okay? Being assertive. Stand up for your personal rights. So sometimes, like, you are given too much duty today, and your boss want to give you something additional, then you have to, in a very polite manner and firm manner, you can say that, sir, I'm supposed to handle all these things today. I mean, if I take this, I'm not sure whether I can complete it in a productive manner. I mean, I'm not against doing it, but can I do all this? I mean, I'm a human being. So expressing your thoughts and feelings directly and honestly in ways that do not infringe the right of others. Very politely, we can say that. There is no need to be aggressive. Passive also, being passive also doesn't help. Assertive is the right strategy. Organize yourself. Organizing your workplace can be a good thing. Even try to organize your desktop. Put it in neatly in folders. Many a time we end up a lot of time and searching for the files which we need. It is somewhere. So have good backup. Put something in Google Drive, some documents which we really need frequently. Prioritizing activities that make them manageable and achievable. Try to make some weekly plans. These are some of the important things I want to do. It takes 5 minutes, but it can make a big difference in your day-to-day activities. Okay. Time management, prioritizing, scheduling. We have to accord adequate priority for the things which are happening. All things are not having equal importance. Some things we have to conduct a Viva today. We cannot skip it. Give maximum priority to it. But there might be some activity which we can give it as keeping a to-do list. Can be some stick things where you note down the things that we want to do. Delegating the task, that is also important. And we have to give ourselves some luxury of rest, sleep, some maybe afternoon power nap for 10 minutes. You must have watched this Formula One race. Can you guess what is like the world average? Let me listen to you. There are self-imposed limitations. If we really believe in ourselves, the things that we can do, they are astonishing. In Formula One, in 2013, US Grand Prix, the Red Bull pit created a Max Weber tires in 1.923 seconds. Many of you must have tried to change your tire when it got punctured and all. Can you see yourself changing it in seconds and all? So things are possible, but the point which I want to share is not their efficiency or efficacy or whatever. The point that I want to share is that 2 seconds is very crucial. If they don't give the luxury of that 2-second break during their race, their car is going to have a burnout. So sometimes we feel that I need to do all the things on our own, but we have to give proper rest to us. Otherwise, once we have a burnout, we are going to suffer, our family is going to suffer, and we are definitely not going to be really productive, very productive. This is also a nice book you can try reading. It's called Relaxation Response. The relaxation response is a physical step of deep rest that changes the physical and emotional response to stress, and the opposite of flight or fight response. The flight or fight thing that happens in day-to-day life without we doing anything, that's the very nature of life. But the relaxation response, we need to take our own initiative. You are taken 2 hours class. You can just relax, maybe with some soothing instrumental music for 3 minutes. It will do wonders. Just do it. Don't take that 3 minutes out of your life for want of doing more things in that 3 minutes. That may not be the right stuff. Deep breathing, triangle visualization, meditation. I'm repeating this because these are pretty important. And spend some time with nature. There is no need to go to all the way to Wagaman or Kumaragam or Munnar. These places can also stress you out nowadays. Nowadays, if you go on a weekend to Wagaman or Munnar, you end up in a traffic block, most probably. People are thronging these places. Your courtyard itself might be good enough. Spend some time with nature. Some physical activities that can be helpful. Reframing. This cognitive reframing is a psychologist's recommended technique of looking at things in a different way that can give it peace. Sometimes we might be perceiving things in a different way. Suppose you are in a traffic block. Then we might suddenly the mind, up to that point, our mind was very peaceful. You want to reach the college, you end up in the traffic block. Then suddenly the all mindset changes. You start panicking, you start get tense, you are irritated. But that is some reality. You might not be behind. There are many queue vehicles in front. There is a queue vehicle. At that point of time, this cognitive reframing can help. You can just listen to music in the car. You can think about pleasant things. That is one reality we need to accept. I am a traffic block which I cannot change. Only if the vehicle in the front moves, you can move. Reality. Accept it. There is no need to panic. Nothing will happen to this world. If you are late for 5 minutes, the world will not collapse or anything. Nothing will happen. So that is cognitive reframing. We can think like this. I'm grateful that I'm having a car. There are many others who might be having a two-wheeler. Somebody who's carrying a two-wheeler think that they can think that there are others who don't have the luxury of even a two-wheeler. I'm sitting in the car with my wife. I'm listening to music. I can chat with her. Why should I talk about nowadays these roads are horrible, the traffic is so bad? Instead of that, just try reframing the way you look at that situation. The situation is same. Sometimes there is a painting, you frame it, then it looks much better, right? You create a altogether different frame of reference. Then that situation looks different. Try it out in your day-to-day. This is the book that I was earlier talking about. Manage Your Time to Reduce Your Stress. It's a nice book by Rita Imet. If you are interested in this stress management stuff, this is one book, good book, pretty useful book. You can try it out. And time quadrant, again, many of you might be familiar, but for the benefit of at least maybe 50% or 10% who is not familiar, I'll just share it very quickly. See, there are 4 quadrants. They are classified into quadrants depending on 2 factors: importance and urgency. Importance and urgency. For example, the first quadrant is that space or set of activities in our life which are important and urgent. Important and urgent. You're having an exam tomorrow. You need to prepare for it today. It is important and also it is urgent. You're having an exam 2 months from now. You need to prepare today. It is important. It's a PSC exam. If you clear it, you may get a good job. Not urgent right now. It becomes urgent, say 2 months later. I'm not prepared, then I need to do all the preparations the 1 week before. Then it creates a level of urgency. So that is the second quadrant. Important, not urgent. And third quadrant is not important and urgent. This online stuff and all this WhatsApp business has created this quadrant specifically. Whenever a message pops up, we feel like we need to look at it. I'm taking a class and WhatsApp message comes. I feel I need to look at it. It might not be that important, yeah. Right? So there may be some things which like appear to be urgent in the periphery, but they may not be really important. And then there are tasks which are not urgent or not important, time wasters. Playing an online game. When I was in IT Bombay, I saw that a lot of bright students, they mess up their life by playing this game of PUBG. They play PUBG all day, all night. They are like skip their class. They're collaborating and playing. There might be somebody else who's sitting somewhere. They're also wasting their time. Time wasters. So ideally, we should spend more time in this quadrant 2. Quadrant 2. That is the most important quadrant for us. So that will happen when you are able to focus on long-term goals. You make proper plans. You make strategies for tackling it. You start preparing in advance. And then we find that we are spending more time in quadrant 2. Then you are very less stressed up. You will be equipped to deal with life in the best manner. Okay, so try to avoid the times in definitely quadrant 3 and 4. Minimize the time. It might not be possible to avoid it altogether. We are going to end up in quadrant 1 occasionally, but don't spend all the time there. All the time, if you are having an urgent thing, that is when this stress creeps up. Everything that happens in your day-to-day life, if it is urgent, then definitely you are going to be a stressed person. So that is the importance of having a long-term focus, long-term plans, written plans preferably, written plans. So Pareto principle. So 20% of the effort sometimes creates this is economic like philosophy, 80% of the result. So you have to identify that aspects in your life which is really worth putting your effort into. That is what Pareto principle says. Okay, ventilation. A problem shared is a problem halved. Whenever we are having a real issue, talk to a good friend, talk to your family members. Don't keep it intact, thinking that it will scare others. If I share, I'm having some disease, I'm not sharing with my family members, thinking that they will feel bad. No, preferably you should share it. You should share it. You are having some problem at your workplace, try to share with a colleague. They may be able to offer a solution. Even if they are not able to offer any solution, you feel relaxed. The act of sharing that problem itself can create that relaxation response in you. Yeah. Humor. Spend some time for listening to some nice, funny videos or reading some funny books. Humor. Yeah, even otherwise, don't take life too seriously occasionally. Anyway, we are not going to come out of this life alive. But all of us. So having some humor attitude of humor can be helpful in the life, but can be pretty useful. Plan, do, check, act. This is called PDCA cycle. Talking to yourself. Every day you talk to yourself and about yourself, affirming your beliefs, explaining your behavior, predicting your future. All the time you are doing it. You pursue a casual order and suggest stuff to yourself and do that constantly and consistently. So make it better. Human being is one species who are the capability to do it. Even your pet dog or cat or the wild elephant, they're also thinking and they're also, but they cannot really analyze what they are thinking and they can improve on it. You are given this unique gift where you can reflect upon what you're thinking, you can reflect upon what you're speaking, and you have the potential to improve it. Use it and try to improve your life. Develop some keystone habits. This is also a pretty nice book. You can try to read if you want. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. In this book, he talks about some habits which has the potential to transform your life. For example, doing exercise every day. That is a keystone habit. By inculcating that habit, by doing that every day, day in and day out, you're having a healthy body, thereby you're having a healthy mind. You are able to tackle your work in a more productive manner. So that can create changes in every aspect of life in a positive way. So that is like a keystone habit. So some habits that has the potential to change the life in a profound way. Planning the task in advance can be a keystone habit. So every week, try to create a new keystone habit. So in Japan, there is a Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which talks about continuous incremental improvement in everything that you do every day. Continuous incremental improvement in everything that you do every day. So you keeps on improving. And at the end of 1 year, you will be amazed at yourself that the changes that has happened to you. There's a famous book by this Mihaly. I will not spell the rest of the pretty tough, okay, tongue-twisting name. Okay, I'll call him Mihaly. Mihaly is a Russian guy who talked about this concept of flow. So the idea is something like when the task that we are having at hand is, say, pretty tough, suppose pretty tough, and your skill level is pretty low, then that can lead to anxiety and all that. Low skill level, high task level, anxiety, worry, all this. On the other extreme, if your skill level is also high and the task is very challenging, that is when you will experience this flow. That is when you are so engrossed in your work and you are able to enjoy your work in a very nice way. So our initiative, our idea should be to converge to that part of that quadrant where our skill levels are high and the tasks that we are taking are also high. Suppose there is a consultancy opportunity coming to your way. We believe that it's a data analytics assignment. And we believe that, we believe that like we don't have the enough capability to do that data analytics. We don't have any software. I don't suppose I don't know Python, or I don't know about the packages with which we can deal this statistically. I don't know SPSS. Then I think that my task level is my skill level is low, but the task which I am supposed to handle is very high. But if you upgrade, you attend some SOIN courses, you start working on these softwares. Now you are a expert Python programmer. You can deal with this data in a very nice, productive way. You can come out with interesting graphs and results. Then you are in the level of flow. So try to acquire or improve upon the competency in the areas in which we are supposed to be competent. That is when we are going to be in the flow. So some of the stress coping strategies. Okay, this is from the Manage Your Time to Reduce Your Stress, a handbook for the overwork, overschedule and overwhelm. That's also a nice piece of book. Unhealthy habits are like smoking, drinking, overeating, using drugs, withdrawing, indulging in self-pity, blaming. But on the other hand, we can engage in positive coping strategies: exercising, relaxing, nutrition. So having good food, nutritious food, doing recreational activities, assertive, taking time outs, using humor. So how you are going to cope up with stress, that is your choice. Don't choose the left side, the unhealthy side. Choose the right side, healthy practices. Breathe, sleep, socialize, exercise. So when we talk about living peacefully, we all want this. So understand that living in peace is both an outward and inward process. Many times we forget that it is an inward thing also. We try to be peaceful by doing a lot of external activity. But sometimes we have to make some calibration to our mind by which we are developing that attitude and mindset by which we are geared to live a peaceful life. Seek to love, not control others. Many times we hear about this concept of unconditional love. Just try to practice it. It's very difficult to practice. Unconditional love, irrespective of whatever is happening at your home, like love your spouse, unconditional. I'm not really judging her, or she or he might be doing things from her perspective based on her upbringing and conditioning. But I accept it. That doesn't mean that we have to correct them sometimes. We have to correct ourselves. This unconditional thing is more important. We have to love ourselves unconditionally. We sometimes judge and criticize ourselves too much. Something like I'm fat, I'm not tall, I'm dark, like judging, right? Love ourselves unconditionally. We are blessed with such a beautiful piece of brain and beautiful piece of physique, which we can choose to make it healthy to the extent possible. And do you think our friends are loving us for the physical appearance? No. I mean, it is about the interface in which we and they are interacting. That is where this relation come. That is where this relation come. The interface, the emotional interface where we are interacting with others. Moderate your convictions. Many times, the thing that we believe to be so strong that may not be, correct, possible, right? We sometimes say some absolute truth like sun rises in the east. Even that is true only when we are looking from the earth. So that the paradigm where we think it's absolute true, even that is relative. Then think about the small things that happen in life. Be tolerant. So anger is like holding a piece of coal in your hand, burnt coal in your hand, and you want to throw it at somebody, but you are burning yourself. Instead of that, practice unconditional love to the extent possible. We are not Jesus Christ or Buddha or Krishna. We are human beings. We have our own police, but try to converge in that direction. Try to proceed in that direction. Kaizen, incremental improvement, reflection of thought. Some tips to lead a peaceful life. Stop yourself from being too judgmental. Judgmental about you, judgmental about others. Get comfortable with silence. This is pretty important. Spend some part of the day without any noise, without any digital noise. Before you go to sleep, preferably 1 hour before, don't start looking in this mobile and your laptop. 1 hour, you chat with your kid, you talk with your family, you listen to some music for some time. And then be in silence. Think about all the good things that has happened today, the good things that you want to happen the next day. Visualize, affirm. Say that you are going to be you do your best of the best of the best. Say thank you and often. Listen to understand, not to respond. So optimism, forgiveness, humility, courage, resilience. Whatever we do, we practice all these things. Still don't think that life will be smooth right now. Still difficulties, issues will come. But as the professor said, they are the biggest learning experience. You should have that mindset of coming back from these difficulties. Have compassion towards your fellow human beings. This is how we can try to lead a peaceful life. Optimism, forgiveness, humility, courage. There are a lot of stories by which I can, but that's not the point. You're also process. You can easily get these ideas. 7 laws of peaceful living. Make peace with your past so it doesn't spoil your present. So this happening to many people. Many bad things that have happened to them. Especially it happens to, sometimes we see it happening to our parents. Some nasty things have happened in the past. They're carrying that grudge still in the mind. That spoils our present peace. What others think of you is none of your business. We need to learn from our mistake by taking feedback from others. But don't make it the all purpose of your living. Don't make it the all purpose of your living. Sometimes many of the things which they say, that is also from their own perception and filtering. You have to make your own judgment about you. Time heals about almost everything. No one is responsible for your happiness except you. Don't compare your life to others. You have no idea what their journey is all about. Okay? What they are going across, what happened to them in the morning, we don't know. Maybe their relative died just a couple of days before. That is why they are looking dull and sad. It has nothing to do with your relation to them. They don't smile at you in the morning. You're feeling bad. Tomorrow I'm not going to talk to them. That's a decision that we make. It happens, right? Stop overthinking. It is okay not to know all the answers. Don't get into too much of thinking. Smile. You don't own all the problems in the world, right? If you're depressed, you are living in the past. If you're anxious, you are living in the future. If you're at peace, you are living in the present. A quote by Lao Tzu. Some tips. Create a little quiet space in the morning. Just listen to your breath for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all what I am asking. Spend some time in decluttering and creating a. You look at your table, whether it is cluttered, then we cannot really work in a productive way there. You look at your desktop, is it full with a lot of files? You try to organize it. Then next day you see the desktop, you'll be feeling more happy. Daily time for reflection, make time for creating. Okay. So your workplace, does it look in the left side or does it look the right side? Try to be the other way around. Okay. Do you think you can sit peacefully and work in the other way around? It might not be possible. So if you're really comfortable with that type of workplace, then do it. But if you're not comfortable, then try to create the other one round. So I'll try to conclude. Develop a mindset that you're in control. Make internal and external changes. That is where many of us make the mistake. We are really aware about the external things happening. We adapt and make changes to it easily. But internal modifications or moderations, that is where we need to intervene. Start reading some interesting books on your choice in this area. Manage your time more efficiently, planning, prioritizing, and all that. Lifestyle changes are really important. Doing some exercise, avoiding stressors, not drinking too much coffee, stay connected. So staying connected, having some friends, having occasional meetings. And this is one thing that we missed during this Corona time. But yeah, but still you can stay connected. You can make a call occasionally. You can connect to your long lost friend. And if nothing works out, don't hesitate to consult an expert. So in spite of doing all this, say maybe few of us may reach a situation where we feel that there is some intervention required. There is nothing to be ashamed about it. You can contact a like psychologist or psychiatrist, depending on the type of situations you are in. Okay. So thank you very much for your time.